Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our FC26 career mode here with Burnley. I hope you guys are well today. We've got loads to get through as always as we're going to close out the summer transfer window today. And with 100 million to spend, I'm sure there will be lots more signings to come. And after our 3 signings in the previous episode, we got off to a great start with a goalless draw away at the Etihad as we took on a Manchester City. But the first thing I'm actually going to do today is make a slight tactical change to the team. And I've noticed, obviously, last year we were a newly promoted side, but it feels like we're too deep. We are way too deep. We need to move that up. I don't want to go to high. I think I'm going to move it to maybe 60 for now, but it's quite evident that our centre forward is also always very isolated. And now that we're establishing ourselves as a Premier League team and we've got a little bit more know-how, a little bit more quality, I think we can start playing a little bit further up the pitch and being a little bit more confident in our playing ability. And what I'm going to do to kick off today's episode is make a new signing. If you didn't see the previous episode, right at the end we saw the sale of Hartman to Chelsea. I reluctantly let him go as I wanted to keep him at the club, but when Chelsea come calling, it's no real surprise that he wanted to leave the club. So I've got a few left backs on the shortlist. I was looking at Harrison Burrows of Sheffield United, but of course they've just come up to the Premier League, so I'm not sure he'd make the switch. We've got Hugo Bueno of Wolves, who have obviously been relegated, and we've already done some business with them. Goodmanson of Leeds, who managed to stay up, but also El Hadj Malik Diouf at West Ham, who were of course relegated last year. I'm a big fan of this lad from what I've seen in real life in the Premier League this season. He's got bundles of energy, he's got attacking threat going forward as well, and although he plays as more of a wing back for West Ham, I think he'll be absolutely fine defensively as an out and out left back. So as my replacement for Hartman, I'm going to bring him in from the Hammers. Well, I'm really happy with that signing. Obviously, we've lost Hartman, but we got a big transfer fee of 40 million to bring Diouf in from West Ham for just 15 million. I think that's a really, really good bit of business with the hand that we've been dealt. And I think Diouf's going to be a really good player down that left-hand side. He's got great pace, great stamina, and as I say, he's actually fantastic going forward. Maybe better going forward than he is defensively, but we know that we've kind of built this team on a defensive basis, so I'm sure he will be absolutely fine. But with that signing now confirmed, we will sim through to the Aston Villa game. And again, a tough start to the Premier League for us this season, with Manchester City and then Aston Villa in our opening 2 games. But we got a credible point against City, and I'm hoping we can build on that with our first 3 of the season here against Unai Emery's side. Come on, you Clarets. Well, we still haven't really got going today, but it's evident that we've been a lot higher up the pitch and closer to our centre forwarders. That's brilliantly worked, and Aston Villa take the lead. Samuel Illing Jr. fires into the back of the net, and it's been a game of very few chances, both sort of feeling each other out, but a bit of brilliance from the Englishman, and Aston Villa lead. Just does well, giving him his debut. And now Koleosho fresh off the bench. Luka Warwick down the left. This is really good from the substitute. Koleosho into the middle. Zeki off the bench rescues a point for Burnley. But what about the run from Luka Koleosho down the left? And that is why I've said I want to get him involved this season. I think he's going to be a really important player for us. And in his first appearance after being out on loan last year, he might not get credited with the assist because it was a little bit scrappy, but he creates the goal. And Zeki Amdouni just saying, Gaffer, I know you've brought in a new number 9, but just remember that I'm still here. Burnley score late on to rescue a point, and we will remain undefeated to kick off the new campaign. Well, guys, here's a deal going through here, and I think there might be a few loans to close out the summer window, but this is our young goalkeeper, Max Weiss. heading to Frankfurt. I'm not sure how much football he's going to get, but I know he's not going to play here, so we might as well use the loan system and hope we see some growth. And guys, we've been pretty unlucky in the draw for the Carabao Cup as well. Second round is where we enter, and the second round is probably where we're going to exit as well, as we take on Manchester United, who, to be fair, we've got a good record against in the save. We picked up 4 points out of 6 against them last year, and we are still unbeaten in our opening 2 games this campaign as well. So I'm going to be making plenty of changes, as I always do in the Cup, but potentially chance to pull off a Cup set here. Come on, you Claras. Cullen into Juve, and now Koleosho spins away from Mazraoui, and I tell you what, he's got some serious pace about him, Koleosho. And has he got the finish? No, denied by Onana. Loom into Hannibal. Dooney ahead of him. He slides it through nicely. And there's Loom. Can he finish? Yes, he can. Burnley in front. And it's Chuana cutting in from that right-hand side. It's a brilliant little darting run. Leslie does well. And Zeki looks for Hannibal, who's going to get there. Hannibal, can he finish? Oh, it's brilliant. Against his former club. And he's going to show the respect. But that is a wonderful goal from Hannibal. And I know you guys want to see him getting some more game time this season. And so do I, because I think he's got some real quality. And he's shown it there. A little deft touch over Onana as he races out. And that should be Burnley into the third round of the Carabao Cup with a big scalp on the way. Dubravka finds Taiwo. Loom to Hannibal as we want a third here. And Taiwo's in. Taiwo Awonyi, can he finish? You bet he can. Only managed 1 goal in the entirety of last year, but he's off and underway here. Burnley running riot at Turf Moor. For a team that don't score many, we have torn Manchester United apart today. And for the second consecutive season, they're going to be knocked out of the Carabao Cup in the second round. Yeah, I don't think we really could have asked for a better performance tonight. And in this save, we just have Manchester United's number. That is 3 games played against them, 2 wins and a draw. And we just always seem to be able to play through them. A magnificent win for Burnley. Yes, it comes in the Cup. And I'm sure Manchester United won't be that disheartened, but that's a fantastic performance and our first win of the season. Let's go and see who it's going to be in round 3. Well, I'm not sure if all the games have been played yet, but we should see the draw pretty quickly. And yeah, it's going to be another home tie as we take on Swansea City. So that's a bit more like it. I was hoping for an EFL side last round, but we absolutely demolished United and we'll take on the Swans in round 3 of the Carabao Cup. And I think I'm going to celebrate that win with a signing. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we were going to have enough money to bring him in, but with the unexpected events that we had that meant we brought money over from last season, we definitely have enough to bring him back. The Portuguese midfielder Florentino, who of course spent last season here at Turf Moor, he was absolutely phenomenal. And yes, Benfica are probably a bigger club than us, but we're going to pay a big fee for him and we'll give him more money than he's earning over in Portugal. So that's my justification for making this signing a permanent. After he spent last year at the club, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, I'm really happy to have Florentino back, and I think the only reason I can really justify the move in terms of realism is because he spent last season at the club. I would not be bringing in an 83 rated midfielder if it were anyone else, but he spent last year at the club. He wants to play in the Premier League, and we have over doubled his wages from where he was what he was earning in Portugal. So I think he's going to make a big difference in the heart of our midfield. He was fantastic for us last year, and we were pretty short in that area with only really Cullen and Ugachukwu who can play in that deeper role. So I might still potentially bring in another midfielder who can play there because we still don't have much cover if we get an injury. Well, a loan deal going through here for Aaron Ramsey. He is going to head to Everton for this season. I'm not sure if he's ever going to make it, but I don't know. We'll loan him out and see how he does at the Hill Dickinson Stadium this year. Oh, and that deal was a twofer as well, as Armando Broja heads to PSV for the season as well. Similar to last January, where I'm just not going to be able to get him any football, with Strand Larsen and Zeki Amdouni and even Taiwo a 1 year ahead of him. At 24 years of age, he's still potentially got a future at the club at 75 overall, but I just wasn't going to get him any football this year, so I'd rather get him out on loan, where he's going to be playing some football. And before we get to transfer deadline day, we've got our final game in August as we take on Leeds United. They themselves have had a really good start to the campaign as well, similarly to us, with a win and a draw in their opening two. So against a side that we've not beaten in the save yet in 3 matches, and we lost away at Ellen Road at the end of last season. So I'm expecting another tough game here. I was just saying about how we're United's bogey team, but Leeds United are a bogey team of ours, so I'm hoping to sort of break our bad record against them today and see if we can pick up 3 points and our first of the campaign. Come on, you Clarets. Yeah, the history of this fixture does not really show that there are many goals, as Edwards does really well. Walker, Rudoni, that's lovely. Strand Larsen gets his first in claret and blue. And that's a lovely counter-attacking move from Burnley. Really starting to get to grips with this side now. And we are playing some really good football. Okafor, Esteve with a strong but fair challenge. We've been so good at the back this season with Esteve and this man Beelan. Those two are absolutely phenomenal at centre-back together. I think Beelan's going to be a really, really underrated signing for us. And as Jaden lays the ball off for Rudoni, can he pick out Strand Larsen in the middle? Not quite. And Perry will pick up the loose ball. But honestly, we've built this team on a solid defensive foundation. And I mean, not many goals have gone in against us this season. Just the one from Illing Jr. for Aston Villa. And Sergi Dada running into traffic. Longstaff pops it off. Tanaka, lovely feet. Oh, it's really lucky for Leeds, and the flag goes up. Thank goodness for that, because it was a lucky ricochet into the path of Noah Okafor, who finished it brilliantly. But Burnley is saved by the flag. Well, this is it for Leeds. Longstaff, got to get it in the box. Dan James looks to take on Juve, does swing across in, but Florentino's there, and that should do it as Burnley continue their fantastic start to the season. That is 4 games unbeaten in all competitions. It's 5 points on the board from our opening 9 in the Premier League, and we have been really, really solid defensively. Esteve and Beelan at the back is so good, and Jorgen Strand Larsen gets his first goal in a Burnley shirt as well. Transfer deadline day up next, where I'm thinking I'm probably going to make one more signing. Well, this is an interesting bid from Brentford, and I'm not normally up for these loan to buys, but in this situation it kind of works for Trésor. So it's a 2-year loan. Let's propose a 1-year loan, which is absolutely fine. Let's try and go 50-50. Okay, we'll pay the majority of his wages. As for the fee, 4.45, yeah, do you know what? That's absolutely fine with me. He's not going to play much this season, and I don't really use the loan to buy system, but Trésor looks as if he's heading to the Bees. And there's the youngster Damien Burke heading out on loan as well. I'm sending him to Germany to bulk up a bit with Werder Bremen. It's a 2-year loan deal, so I'm hoping he's going to come back looking like a different player who's ready to jump straight into the first team. And there goes the deal for Mike Trésor as well. I know that the loan to buy system has kind of been broken in FC in the past, so it might be that he just comes back to us after this 12-month loan spell at Brentford, but we'll see what happens come the end of the season. Well, we've had a couple of interesting bids here. Brighton wanting to take Leslie Ugochukwu, and they finished literally just above the relegation zone last year, so I'm going to say no to that. I don't really want to let anyone go on transfer deadline day. And also a bid from Nottingham Forest for Hannibal. I don't think they finished in a European place last year. No, they didn't. So I'm also going to turn that one down. Well, guys, we're 5 hours on the clock. We've still got a pretty decent transfer budget of almost 50 million. So I'm going to spend some of that. I'm going to keep some for January as well. But I mentioned when we played them last season how much of a fan of this man, Alex Scott, I was. And he scored the winning goal. I think it was at Turf Moor when we lost 1-0 towards the end of the campaign. And of course, with Bournemouth heading down to the Championship, nobody's come in for him yet. So I'm going to snap him up because there's no way I'm letting Alex Scott go and play in the Championship. He is way too good to play at that level. Well, Alex Scott is here, and I may have paid slightly more than I needed to, but it's mainly just due to realism that even 16.5 for a player of Alex Scott's quality is absolutely crazy, even with Bournemouth being relegated to the second tier. But I love the versatility of him. He can play anywhere through the spine of that midfield as a number 10, a number 8, or a number 6. So yeah, I'm really happy to have Alex Scott at the club, and he is probably my long-term successor for Josh Cullen in the heart of that midfield next to Florentino. So we're going to sort of phase him into the team, but I'm such a big fan of his, and he is such a good ball player in the heart of that midfield. And as he joins the club, we see our young goalkeeper Arthur Nicol leave the club on loan, as he will head to Turkey on a 2-year loan spell. 16 years of age, and I'm hoping he is going to develop nicely out in Turkey. But that is going to do it for transfer deadline day, guys. We will see the top deals as Josko Gvardiol has left Manchester City to join Athletic Bilbao. This game is just so broken, man. The transfers are so ridiculous. Marcus Thuram is heading to the Premier League to join up with Unai Emery's Aston Villa for 57.4 million. And Pau Kubasi has left Barcelona to join Leeds United. Honestly, they need to work on the transfers in this game. It's just so unrealistic, man. But anyway, we move. We've made it to the 1st of September, and of course that means Youth Academy updates. Let's see what we've got. Well, from England, Dan Mills looks pretty decent, and Ellis Hall could be okay, but I am going to turn away Chris Lane, who we found last month, but we'll keep the scouting on these two for now. And from Costa Rica, I'm not waiting another month for Valentin Soto. He looks absolutely fantastic. Exciting prospect, so we're going to get him in the Youth Academy, and we'll keep the scouting on these three. And from Tunisia, still waiting for a real superstar, but we'll keep the scouting on these four, including Abu El Basir, who looks like he could have some decent potential. As for the academy, we have got some really good players in here. I was meant to loan out Ben Ball, and I completely forgot during that summer transfer window. So I'll probably look to get him out in January. Looks as if Andy Pope's had a bit of a potential downgrade, which is a shame. But, I mean, we've still got some really good players in here. I like the look of Steve Barker up top. Connor O'Connor, of course, fantastic name. And, yeah, Ben Ball, as I say, alongside the young goalkeeper Kirk Hardy and Draper, who we've had in the academy for a while. So definitely some good young players, but we've not really had any superstars yet, which is more realistic because last year I found that practically every month you were finding absolute wonder kids. So it's a little bit more realistic. And yeah, we'll jump into our next game. We'll play a few more to close out the episode, as it's been a pretty busy transfer window. But Crystal Palace up next. Tough game, as Oliver Glasner's side have also had a good start to the season, and like us have the same record, 1 win, 2 draws and undefeated in their opening 3. So tough game away at Selhurst Park as we take on Glasner's side. Come on, you Clarets. Oh, that's a good ball. Right, Saki finds Johnny Burkhart, who scored late on for Palace in our last fixture against them to win it. And he might be in again. Johnny Burkhart. It's a wonderful Palace move. And I can't keep the German quiet. He scored late on, as I was just mentioning. I think it was here at Turf Moor to win it last season. And a little bit earlier today, but after half an hour, Palace lead. Raksaki. Cullen does well. It's nice football from Burnley. Cullen driving on. Nobody closing him down. Cullen letting fly from range. And Benitez did well to turn it away. No one engaged the skipper there. And I don't think he scored in the entirety of last campaign. But he wasn't too far away there. And as Edwards gets it onto his left foot and looks to bend one himself, puts too much on it. Well, there is the whistle, and we huffed and we puffed, but we could not break through Crystal Palace's defence. They're such a solid side in real life. We've seen that with them going on such a long unbeaten run under Oliver Glasner. Big win against Liverpool recently in the Premier League as well, and today it's Johnny Burkhart's goal, the same as last season where he netted late on. The difference between the two sides, again, we were pretty good defensively today, but just couldn't find an equalising goal once Palace were ahead. Well guys, after that defeat, I'm going to close out with one more. Midweek Carabao Cup third round as we take on Swansea at Turf Moor, looking to reach the fourth round. Come on you Clarets. Swansea on the front foot, oh my goodness. Wonderful goal from Adam Ida, and the Swans are in front. That's poor from Burnley. Haven't really got going so far today, as Koleosho finds Amdouni round the corner for Alex Scott. Is it going to be a debut goal for Alex Scott? It's off the upright. So close from the Englishman, making his debut today. Probably should have scored, but it clips the outside of the post and drifts behind for the goal kick. Well, still got time, but we've not really been good enough today. Made some changes just to freshen things up. Here's Koleosho. Can he get there? Luca Koleosho puts it wide. Well, our cup run comes to an end in the fourth round once again, as it did last year, and I'm hoping that's not going to be too serious for Rudoni. We've not really seen any injuries throughout the course of the save, but he definitely stayed down after the challenge there. And we can beat Manchester United comfortably here at Turf Moor, but Championship Swansea, no, they come and beat us by a 0-0. Really poor couple of games to close out the episode, as we lose back-to-back, both games finishing 1-0 to the opposition, and we're out of the Carabao Cup. But that will do it for today's video, guys. It has still been a pretty decent start to the campaign, and I'm really happy with our summer transfer window. We'll be back in the next episode to really crack on with Season 2, so there's going to be lots of games. You won't want to miss it. I'll catch you for it very soon. Take care, and peace.